The Iron Phalanx were humanity's last safeguard. Encased in towering slabs of ceramite and alloyed void armor, they crossed the stars not as explorers, but as executioners. Their mission: to purge the galaxy of the Xyrrak, a species so ravenous they stripped entire planets down to their molten cores, devouring everything that breathed or burned. The warriors had long since ceased to resemble men. Their armor was an extension of their flesh, their guns an extension of their wrath. Each squad carried rotary cannons capable of liquefying a tank in seconds, missile pods slung over shoulders, and close assault blades forged from neutron-tempered steel for when the fight became too close. Behind them loomed Titan mechs, walking fortresses bristling with plasma artillery and bombardment railguns that could split a mountain. On the scarred world of Drello's IV, night burned red. A Xyrrak broodship had seeded the planet, its spawn already carpeting the wastelands in writhing waves of chitin and fang. From orbit, the brood spread like infection across the ground, nests swelling into towers of pulsating bone. Dropships roared through the atmosphere, their hulls wreathed in fire. Inside, the warriors stood in silence, armor sealed, weapons mag-locked against their armored thighs. When the red light blinked to green, the floor yawned open, and the Iron Phalanx fell into hell. The ground erupted beneath their impact. Plates of steel boots dug craters into soil already slick with alien ichor. In seconds, the swarm was upon them. Xyrrak drones, six-limbed monstrosities with heads like serrated maws, surged in tides. The Phalanx guns roared to life. Rotary cannons spun and spat fire, each burst tearing creatures into clouds of shredded meat and acid blood. Limbs were pulverized, torsos blown apart into steaming heaps. Yet still they came, climbing over the corpses of their kin, shrieking in frequencies that rattled armor. Brother Sergeant Corrin led the charge. His power maul crackled with arcs of lightning as he waded into the sea of bodies. A Xyrrak warrior, a beast twice his size, lunged, claws flashing. Corrin met it head-on, swinging his maul. The blow connected, skull and spine collapsing into a spray of gore, the impact echoing like thunder. All around, Phalanx troopers advanced in disciplined lines, their weapons chewing through thousands. The ground became a slurry of gore and acid, smoke rising where blood corroded armor. The wounded did not cry out. Their suits muted pain, feeding stimulants directly into their veins so they could keep fighting until nothing remained of them but pulp. Above, a Titan mech landed. The earth cracked under its mass, stabilizers anchoring as its weapons unfolded. Its main plasma cannon shrieked, firing a lance of molten light through the brood spire ahead. The tower detonated in a chain reaction, raining chunks of flesh and bile for hundreds of meters. The Phalanx did not cheer, they pressed forward. Hours of slaughter carried them to the brood's core. The swarm thickened until visibility shrank to meters, the air choking with alien musk and smoke. Warriors switched to close combat, chainswords howling, mauls cracking carapaces, combat knives plunging into throats. The hive walls pulsed, alive with veins pumping thick alien fluids. Drones burst from them in surprise waves, tearing at armor, ripping flesh where plating split. Warriors went down screaming in silence, their last moments lost in static as claws pierced through helms, pulling heads free in showers of gore. Corrin pressed on, carving his way through. Every step was drenched in blood, his own, his brother's, and the swarm. Behind him, artillery detonations lit the tunnels in bursts of fire, collapsing chambers with deafening roars. At the heart, the Xyrrak matron rose. A mountain of chitin, her body swollen with egg sacs, her limbs long enough to scythe tanks in half. She shrieked, a sound that ruptured armor audio feeds. Warriors staggered, some convulsing as blood poured from their ears. Corrin raised his maul. Phalanx, end her. The Titans opened fire. Plasma lances cored her abdomen, railguns hammering until chitin exploded into fragments. Yet the matron charged, her bulk crashing into the mech line, ripping one Titan's arm off in a geyser of sparks. Warriors swarmed her legs, stabbing, sawing, blasting point-blank until their armor was drenched black with her fluids. Finally, Corrin leapt, boosters hurling him onto her skull. He drove his maul down again and again, each strike cracking deeper until the weapon split bone, and the matron's brains erupted outward in a tidal wave of steaming gore. The hive died screaming. Without their queen, the drones faltered, flailing blindly until the Phalanx executed them with merciless precision. By dawn, Drello's IV was a graveyard, alien bodies stacked like mountains, ichor rivers running between them. The Iron Phalanx stood bloodied but unbroken. They did not mourn nor celebrate. They only turned to the skis, awaiting their next descent into another world's nightmare. Because for humanity to live, the galaxy had to drown in fire.